Hello and welcome back to Cienie. Fairly positive that I am pronouncing that wrong. That's probably not going to change anytime soon. So last we were with the group being Tom, David, Eliash, and wow, I forgot the tiger's name. What was the tiger's name? I don't know. We'll find out soon enough again. We were investigating Klomino. I think that's how you pronounce it. And there was some weird stuff going on in the administration building. And if you last saw the short story before this, you probably have a good idea of what may or may not be happening, at least within the confines of the abandoned, the area. So there's definitely something going on. Whether it's spooky or not is yet to be seen, but considering what happens at the beginning of the story, if you choose the incorrect choice and what may be happening behind the scenes, then it's a pretty safe bet that there is something spooky going on. Anyways, after they left, they ended up seeing that there was a car that either was tailing them or that was coming into Klomino. So there's, again, definitely something going on in the abandoned place, and that may or may not be connected to the disappearance of the tiger's younger brother's, the younger brother's disappearance. Yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much where we are right now, aside from the fact that, I'm forgetting his name, the German Shepherd, the detective, he found evidence that Camille was already more or less aware of Tom's existence, I guess you could say. And he was already saying those things of like, oh, does he see them? They see him, and etc., etc. But yeah, so some really weird things going on in this place. Anywho, so yeah, without further ado, let us continue. Cienie. I really need somebody from the team to tell me how to pronounce it correctly with like the way that they do it in the glossary. My muscles tense. I stay crouched in a frozen posture as a forest noise peters out for an unknown amount of time. Despite that, my heart keeps hammering against my chest. Why is the wolf here? Were we followed? There are two other men standing beside him. Although it's hard to make out their appearances, I'm sure one of them is the deer from Anna's shop as well. What could they be doing here? David brushes up against my sleeve, leaning forward as he squints at the group. Isn't that the wolf that we saw the other day? I'm not sure what David sees as he stares into my eyes, but his own expression shifts. Where there was worry, now I can see a struggle with what appears to be curiosity playing out. He turns his head back to the wolf, muttering to himself. What's he doing here so late? Psst, guys, we should go. Hold on a second. I exchange a surprised look with Eliash. After all his complaining, his sudden reluctance to sneak away from the potential danger is odd. Just go ahead, you two. We'll catch up in a moment. We'll be quick, I promise. Eliash gives us both a pained look before nodding and tugging at Raymond's sleeve. The pair slowly back away into the darkness. David, meanwhile, moves closer and whispers in my ear, his eyes darting between the wolf and me. Did you overhear them saying why they're here? No, but I'm pretty curious now. I observe the wolf talking to his lackey, though it's difficult to make out what they're saying. They sure don't look like they're playing around. I grab his incessant muzzle shut. Shh, just let me listen. David struggles to free his mouth from the grip of my hand. I point in the direction of the car, signaling him to go. He doesn't, staying perched next to me even after I let go of his maw, but at least he stays quiet. The wolf and one of his men finally begin to move in the direction of the administration building. The two of us start creeping after them, but it only takes us several steps before David steps on a twig, snapping it loudly. No reaction from the man dead ahead. Guess we got lucky. David probably can't see my annoyed expression in the dark as I grab him by the arm and pull him closer. Just go back to the car and leave this to me. Wait, are you sure? Yes, hurry up. David hesitates as I let go, but quickly shuffles away. I turn my attention back to the wolves group as they stand at the entrance to the building. Cared of some tourists? I cup one of my ears towards their direction. It's still hard to hear them, but at least I recognize that voice. It's definitely the deer. Philip, you and I are gonna check inside. This whole place gives me the fucking creeps. Then be quick. Sorry, boss. The car's lights strike the two tall figures as they walk in front of it, casting long shadows that stretch towards the concrete. My guess was correct. They're the wolf and the deer from earlier. I take out my phone and snap a picture of the car's plates, making sure the flash is off. Then I reposition to the left to get all three of men into frame. As I sneak in another shot, the wolf turns around. What's up, boss? Getting spooked too? Shut it. He raises his snout and sweeps the woods with his gaze. Shit. I remain still as a statue. As he turns in my direction, it seems like we actually lock eyes for a second. But I know that there's no way that he should be able to see me, and after a long, painful moment, he turns back to his henchmen. Let's keep moving. Only as they disappear from the view do I realize that I had been holding my breath and let out a gasp. With that, all tension in my joints seems to drain away. Going after the wolf now would be very stupid, even if a part of me thinks that I should try. If it were just me, then maybe, but I still have my friends to worry about. I take several steps back, taking it slow, before turning to run through the woods, back to David's car. It doesn't take me long to catch up with the others. The three of them are crouched behind a thick bush. There you are. Shh. I quickly cap my muzzle and look in the direction David's pointing. A lanky figure leans against the side of David's car, smoking a cigarette. The lit embers seem almost bright against the shadowy surroundings. He's gotta be with the wolf. This isn't good. Tom, what do we do? I don't know. We could wait until he leaves, but there's no guarantee that he'll do so soon. Maybe one of us could distract him somehow. That would mean that one of us is risking ourselves, though. Maybe I could go talk to him? Say that I was taking a piss? That's a crazy idea and you know it. You got a better option? Ellie's idea may work, but it's too risky. There's no way that he will buy it. We're too far from the main road. We're all here because of me, so the choice is obvious. No, I'm the one who caused this mess. I'll deal with it. Worst case scenario, they just call the police. The three of them give me terrified looks, but they don't say anything. Which is good, because I don't want to argue with any of them right now. David, your car keys. Okay. Be careful, Tom. David pulls the keys from his jacket and places them in my palm. We then both nod at each other. I'm always careful. I stand up, giving Raymond a wink, and then head out of the woods towards the ominous figure. A middle-aged eagle in dark gray clothing stands before me, the cigarette flickering as he takes a long drag. Hey, can I help you? I try to keep it as casual as possible, even as I feel the tension build with every step. Oh, there you are. Shit, did he already know? No, there's no way that he figured out that we were following him. An idea springs to mind. Quickly, I pull out my phone, trying to look as confused as possible. Yeah, sorry. I was taking a leak. He shoots me a suspicious glance, arms crossed. Yeah? This might backfire hard. So, you want to stay out here, or we do it in the car? What? His composed demeanor fades and he stares at me, visibly flustered over my question. Big Dick 79? I've been waiting for 20 minutes. He stares blankly at me, mouth agape. Thought that you weren't coming. Not like this would be the first time somebody changed their mind, I guess. Come on, let's get comfortable. As he finally realizes what's going on, the eagle smirks before spitting his cigarette out with a loud sputter. I ain't your hookup. I notice a tinge of Russian accent in his speech. Oh. He scans me from head to toe. I cover my chest as if I were actually naked. So why are you here then? Definitely not the same reason as you. Okay, I thought maybe you're also... I'm not one of you freaks. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have assumed. This your car? Yeah. I suggest you keep moving. This place is dangerous. I'm tempted to ask why, but I shouldn't push my luck. Oh, okay. Sorry. Just get your ass out of here. Alright, sorry for the trouble. He mutters something that sounds like a familiar slur under his breath before walking towards the direction of Klomino. I get in the car and plug the key into the ignition. With a firm twist, the engine roars to life. My sweaty palms gripping the steering wheel, I start to recall what Markus had taught me about driving. With a slow press of the paddle, the car begins to cruise. A gentle left turn takes the car back onto the asphalt road. I scan the area to ensure the eagle and his mates aren't around. Once the coast is clear, I signal to the rest of the gang by blinking my headlights. Eliash and the rest jump out of their hiding spots and dash towards the car. I step out of the car to let David drive. Finally, we speed off into the night. Damn, that was an Oscar-worthy performance. David laughs after hearing me explaining how I managed to trick the eagle into leaving. Eliash and Raymond, on the other hand, huff audibly as if they were tired or annoyed as I explained how I know the wolf. Yet, throughout the whole explanation, I did not mention to them anything about the connection between the wolf and Otto. Not that I know much myself. I'll have to ask Otto to tell me more about the wolf. I don't like that the eagle knows how I look. Hopefully that was our one and only encounter. Contacting Otto tomorrow would be the smart thing to do. Jacob might be interested too. Hey Raymond, we're gonna drop you off first, okay? Can. I show you the way. We stay silent for a while after Raymond gives David the directions. Eliash and Raymond won't look at me though, and soon enough Eliash asks the question everyone, no doubt, had on their minds. So, Tom. Yeah? You still haven't told us why we went to Klomino. Well, it's part of my investigation. Dude, please, stop with the bullshit. Tell us why you actually wanted to go there. I glance at Raymond, unsure if I should even mention his brother. Eli sounds kinda mad, and I guess I can't blame him. I messed up and ended up putting them in danger. I followed a lead and needed to follow up on it. Okay, and what about those guys from earlier? I know that you recognize them from the way that you were looking. And same question to you, by the way. The last part was directed at David. I don't know who he is, but he was at Anna's shop asking where Otto was one time. Yeah, that's when I saw him too. All I know is that they're loan sharks. Fucking great. Why are loan sharks interested in some ruins? Hey, calm down. No, we could have gotten seriously hurt or worse. Sorry guys, it was my fault. Tom was just trying to help me find my brother. He got lost when he tried to visit Klomino. Eliash falls silent, the fire in his glare fizzling out. Oh. He looks down on his lap, vacantly staring at his paws. Damn man, I'm sorry. We had no idea. Thanks for telling me, Raymond. I'm sorry about your brother. I hope you find him. The hyena looks up and sighs deeply. I'm not mad at you, Raymond, but I wish that we had known about this before getting there. Sorry, I just thought that it'd be easier if you didn't have to worry about it. But I realized that you guys had every right to know what I was investigating, especially since I got you involved. No worries. We're always here to help our young detective. I nod, not quite feeling relieved, especially with Eliash still wearing that grumpy expression. I'll have to make it up to him properly sometime. With this topic out of the way though, my thoughts return to what we saw. I have no idea how to handle the wolf situation, and Marcus will be livid if he finds out that I went to Klomino. But I can't keep it hidden. The investigation is more important than our petty fights. If he benches me for this, well, it's not like I ever do what he asks me to do anyway. Thank you, Eliash. David. Raymond's voice pulls me away from my thoughts as a car stops in front of the familiar motel. I wonder if Jacob is still awake, or still in his room for that matter. Hey, no problem. Oh, and the fishing trip? Are you up for it? Yes, I'd love that. Tom, thank you too for helping me. With a relaxed smile, Raymond hops out of the car. Sorry, give me a sec. Having stepped out of the car, I run towards Raymond, who's about to enter the motel's entrance. Oh? The next words are harder to say than expected. Look, I am sorry. I really fucked up. Eh? For what? No need to say that, La. I'm glad that we went there. Wait. Really? Yeah. I see. And Marcus. What about him? Will you tell him about Klomino? I don't know. Well, he is the detective here, not me, so I guess I'll need to tell him what happened. Okay? Raymond senses my hesitation. There is the fact that, his hands are tied, doing things within the law, you know, while I am not. I see. Anyway, it's getting late. I'll let you rest. You also, La. Good night, Tom. Good night, Raymond. I head back to the car. Damn, what a day. So what's the plan now? Wanna grab a beer? What do you mean? You're gonna drive Tom back home and then me. Boring. How about a sleepover? David looks at me in the rearview mirror, wriggling his eyebrows. To be honest, I don't really feel like going home. Let's go! Elias just shakes his head. Huh. Great. Let's grab some drinks at the store, and you can spend the night at my place. I'm too tired to argue, and to be honest, with how Dad is, I'd rather just hang out with David. How about you, bro? You know what? Maybe I should tag along. Who knows what you two will be up to next? What are you, my chaperone? Just drive. Japka's is gonna close in 30 minutes if you don't hurry. David grabs the microwave popcorn and a bottle of soda that we just bought and dashes to the front entrance. Meanwhile, Eliash and I help carry a few six-packs as we walk across the courtyard. Come on! While you're slowly crawling in here, I'm gonna go change. We're coming. Eliash and I exchange glances. With everything that happened tonight, we're both tired, yet David is brimming with energy. It's been years since I last set foot in David's house. The place looks bigger than I remembered. I follow Eliash inside. David heads towards the kitchen while I linger in the hallway. The three of us used to play around here a lot. When we were kids, David and I always pretended this was a big castle, our base of operations before heading out into the world for adventures. Mr. Vajosik always yelled at us not to run around the house. Back then I thought that he was such a grumpy man. But it was probably hard to focus on writing books with kids running amok in your house. I'ma prepare some snacks for our boys' night. Eliash moves past me, heading towards the living room and throwing his jacket and hat on the sofa. While he gets comfortable on the couch, I give the room a quick glance. It's surprising how little has changed about this place. Tom, you alright? Oh, I'm fine. Just taking a trip down memory lane. Yeah, me too, I guess. Judging from the way that he says it, Eliash is clearly not too happy to be back here. I want to cheer him up, but I'm not even sure what to say. What you did was stupid, you know. You gotta be more specific. I did a lot of stupid things today. I'm talking about Klomino. He fidgets with his seat, drumming his fingers against his knees. Hey, I already apologized. I know, we're cool, but you can't blame me for still feeling a little annoyed. Yeah, I'm sorry. There was a lot of things happening at once. Maybe I wasn't thinking clearly. I was angry at Marcus, my dad. And what did they do? Lying and hiding things about my mom from me. Sounds like something to be angry about. You should have at least told us what you were up to. Yeah, you're right. Again, I'm sorry. It's just that we could have at least prepared better, or I don't know, picked a different day and just gone early in the morning. I can't argue with him there. I should have prepared before going there. Although, you wouldn't have stumbled upon the wolf and his men there if I didn't rush it. And that just can't be a coincidence, can it? Ugh, it's pointless thinking about what ifs now. Besides, dude, you've got two fathers wanting what's best for you. Of course it's going to be frustrating. That teasing smirk on his face, I can't help but groan. Bad jokes definitely run in the family. I lightly jab his shoulder. I'm not sure about my dad, but Marcus does care a lot. Sometimes too much. He can be really overbearing. Maybe he has a reason. You can't be a handful, kitty, as demonstrated today. Har har. Maybe just for tonight, I'd like to forget about all my problems and have fun with my two best friends. Well, one of my best friends. The other one, I'm still... So, are we gonna play some games, or y'all wanna watch a movie? David pops into the room with 3 bags of fresh popcorn. Eat up. Sure it's not poisoned? Yeah, could be. He'd trap us in his basement so that we never leave. Why would I even want to trap my bro? Wait a second. David chuckles, wiggling his eyebrows as he heads back towards the hallway. Let me prepare the basement for Tom. Fuck off. Grinning, David disappears around the corner. After a moment, he comes back with a box full of sweets. Here are some Dinkelheims and Moans. And my favorite, Kinder. Of course it is. What? It's always a blast wondering what kind of toy you're gonna get. If Otto were here, he'd probably gobble them all up without hesitating. As for me, I don't feel like having anything sweet right now. Anyway, what's the tentative? David waves a plastic game box at us. I got this new game. Came out not too long ago. As an avid fan of the series, I yanked the game box from him. Hey! Persona 5? We're not watching you play a video game on a sleepover, dude. Nah, fine. What about spin the bottle? Or strip poker? Ew, hell no. David, I don't think that's gonna turn out well, given that the two of you are related. Besides, there's no truth with David. He'll probably lie to us again. Hey, come on. I've been honest so far, and you know, I doubt that. I'm not sure if Eliash is just joking around. His demeanor suggests that he still has a little trust for David. Wish that I could keep up with my annoyance and anger. Truth is, I've been realizing that I miss them too much to stay angry for long. I need to steer the conversation away somehow, or this night will turn sour soon. How about we figure out the note that we found in Klomino? Beats whatever David has planned. David rolls his eyes. Way to ruin the mood, dude. I take the fraying piece of the document from my bag and hand it to David. He places it on the table. We gather around in silence, not wanting to interrupt David's concentration as he begins to parse through the faded words. Despite its ragged appearance, I hope that this paper can lead us to a major breakthrough in our investigation. David reads the document title out loud. Let's see. Sicher hits vor Riften. meaning security regulations. David continues reading the next line of the page. It says, in case of emergency, loud siren, immediately head to the underground bunkers. Interesting. Bunkers, huh? Like the ones that you got trapped in as a kid? Fuck off. Somebody closed the door on me. And that wasn't really a bunker anyway, more like a hole in the ground. I guess. The only bunker there is near where the hospital used to be anyway. Did they keep anything down there? Most likely food supplies or medicine. Anything else that you can read? That's all that I can make out. Apart from the date and the document number, the rest of the text has completely faded. I have no idea how it helps me yet, but I will figure it out. Thanks, David. Aw, you're making me blush. I'm starting to regret what I said. So what you're saying is, we should prepare for another visit to Klomino. We? No, I've already put you in enough trouble. Because you weren't honest with us beforehand. Now that we know what to expect, we can prepare better. That sounds fun. Adventure awaits us once more. David begins to squeal like a hyperactive child. I quickly place my paw on his muzzle. There is no way we... I'm sorry, but no. So you're gonna do it alone? No, I'll tell Markus about it. Makes sense, I guess. Wait, so what about the other bunkers then, since the document mentioned multiple? I guess it meant smaller ones like the one that I fell into? Well then, while Markus and the police check out the one under the hospital, we can sneak back into the admin building and see what we can find. I mean, that wolf guy is clearly up to something there. True, good thinking. Someone has to, in our family. Fuck you. That'll be riskier. I don't want to come across those people again. Eliash pauses to think for a moment. Wanna check out the town hall? That's right, they could have something in there about Klomino. I think they still have some old documents and town's newspapers of Subnaval, as part of the town's historical preservation efforts. And how do you know this? Dad always took me there when we needed to do research for his writing. Such a daddy's boy. Like you weren't glued to Mom and Granddad. I don't think that I can be a daddy's boy while hanging out with Mom and Granddad. Ugh, whatever. David sticks out his tongue at Eliash. Guys, can you not? Sorry. Eliash's suggestion might be a good lead, if there aren't any complications. I guess that there's something at least. What time does the town hall open? From 9 to 4. I still got work in the morning, but I should be free in the afternoon if you want me to tag along. Same. Can't you just skip work? Isn't this way more important? Nah, I can't. Yeah, sorry for not sucking up to Granddad more to make sure that I'd be rich. Looking annoyed now, David returns the note back to me and slumps onto the couch. Eliash, noticing my silence, grabs the remote and turns on the TV. Alright, how about just a movie or two? I second the movie idea. So what kind of movie are you going for? David scrolls through the movie collection, asking us what different horror movies we'd want to watch. Maybe a comedy? By the end of the list, we have 6 horror movies lined up for the night. I don't think that we'll get through more than one, but... How about Beefy the Vampire Bat Slayer? You mean the TV show? No, the movie. It's a classic. Yeah, I don't mind. Could be funny. But David, it's a horror comedy. You sure you can handle the horror part? I can. Really? Scaredy boy? I can't help but chuckle. It's not in movies. In the end, we settle on Beefy and go from there. As the movie plays, David and I laugh at the protagonist's shenanigans and witty dialogue. Never expected buff wolf guy beating up bats to be so entertaining. Eliash, meanwhile, hides his face with a pillow during one of the scary scenes. Or spills popcorn on the floor. I thought you weren't scared so easily, Eli. I just hate jump scares. Glad you didn't faint at least. I'ma kick your ass, little bro. You can try. Eliash grabs a handful of popcorn and throws it at David. Hey! You deserve that. Don't waste good popcorn. You can eat it off of me. I'll allow it. I feel like it would be cleaner eating off the floor. He throws a pillow at me before we all burst into laughter. For the first time in quite some time, I feel such a pure sense of delight. It's nice to let go of everything, even if just for a second. Not that all my worries had vanished, but maybe just for tonight, I'd like to pretend that now is the only thing that matters, spending time with my friends like we used to do. After everyone falls asleep, I can't help but think of Marcus. I want to stay mad at him for lying to me. Yet, as I glance at my phone, the hanging sense of guilt grips my heart. He's probably worried sick by now. I guess I should at least tell him that I'm okay. At David's place, we'll be staying here for tonight. Tom, where have you been? Out? I'll tell you later. We were worried. We? Well, your dad asked where you were. I told him maybe that you're with your friends. I'll come to the office tomorrow and explain everything. Alright, just glad that you're safe. I fade to sleep pretty quickly after that. I yawn and rub my eyes. No, that's no excuse. It takes a moment for the room to come back into focus. Oh god, I could really use a few extra minutes of sleep. I glance out the slightly open window as the morning breeze hits me. I don't know what else you want me to say. You wanted the truth, didn't you? Doesn't mean that I won't get mad. They probably think that they're not loud enough to wake me up, yet I can clearly hear the brothers' voices coming from the kitchen. Not sure if that's a good idea for me to barge into their family drama first thing in the morning. Though I can't help but wonder what had transpired. It was all fine last night. Despite my better judgment telling me not to prod, I quickly get dressed and head to the kitchen. Morning. Tom, hey. David greets me with a forced smile, feigning a casual tone. Sorry, did we wake you up? Nah, it's fine. Eliash turns away from us to look out the window, arms crossed. He doesn't even acknowledge me. Is this a bad time? With a sigh, Eliash finally turns to me and sits on a chair on the opposite side, drumming his fingers on the table. I only now notice a letter sitting there in front of him, and after a moment, he wordlessly slides it my way. That's, German. It's written in German, though I recognize the name in the signature. I slide it back to Eliash. A letter from your mom? What does it say? I found this today. I didn't understand what it said either, so David explained it to me. David, tell Tom what it says. Do you think it's a good idea? Yes, tell him what you told me. Hey, it's fine. I shouldn't be prying into your family business. No, it's more than that. Insane is what it is. I look at David, waiting for him to say something. It's clear as day that it's a struggle for him. Yeah? I never planned on coming back. That's the truth. What do you mean? I must have misheard, right? I'm still barely awake after all. Of course you didn't. Fuck. You wouldn't even bother reaching out to us again if it weren't for that fucking letter. Eliash paces across the kitchen, his fists clenched. He doesn't even look at David anymore. David, on the other hand, looks straight at me, his lower lip jutting out slightly as his pupils dilate. I'm trying my hardest to think of something to say, but only a single word comes out. Why? Back in Germany, I guess I just accepted that you and Eliash would have hated me. I had a life there. I met new people and was about to get a well-paying job. I was content. Mom was always my priority. I I'd be content too if I was living off Granddad's money. I can't imagine how easy it was for you to forget us. Hold on just a sec. David doesn't flinch at Eliash's remark. Instead, he keeps looking right at me. As if he's trying to earn my sympathy, yet all it does is make my blood boil even more. Why does he lie? Again and again? When we talked at Gruber, you asked me for the truth. I didn't exactly tell you everything. I made the choice to support my mother, and it was easier to cut off my past because it hurt less that way. I'm clenching my fists now too. I feel like punching him, forcing him to take back what he just said. He wouldn't just forget about us. It couldn't have been that easy. We've been through so much. No, it's... But despite my best attempt, I still couldn't forget about you two. No matter how much stupid stuff I did in Germany, you guys never left my mind for a second. Cut the bullshit. You thought that we never find out, and that's why you lied. No, I was gonna tell you. But at some point after seeing Tom again, I got scared. So Granddad gave you his blessing, his money, and sent you back. He did. He asked me to check on the house and make sure that you and Dad were doing alright. More lies. Granddad never cared about me or Father, and we're just fine without him. And I don't want anything from him or you. A whirlwind of emotions rages inside of me before the confusion and anger morph into a simmering disappointment. I look at David. His pathetic face feels like the perfect target for my fist right now. Instead, I take a deep, deliberate breath. Sitting down, I lean on the kitchen counter. I don't want to believe that he'd do this. But he finally told the truth, right? Okay. So let me ask this again. The same question that I asked you on the first day. Why did you come back? The truth this time. And if you lie, I will never, ever want to see you again. Eliash nods at me, then looks back at David. For a long moment, the hyena says nothing, and while I can see Eliash's anger building again, I give David the time to compose himself and his thoughts. With Eliash's stare boring into David, I doubt that it's easy. I came back because my mom asked me to. Huh? She wrote to me from the hospital because in recent months, I wasn't even allowed to see her anymore. So what exactly did the letter say? David stares at the letter before he starts speaking again. She wrote, "People close to me will really need me. And that Sebnebo is changing, but not for the better." Wait, not to be rude, but how would she know that? I don't know, but I wanted to believe it. Maybe I was lying to myself, thinking that there was something that I really had to do. That sounds insane. You came here on the whims of a mad woman. Maybe it does, but when I came back, I learned that people are going missing, that Tom's mom was missing. David clutches his mom's letter. It sounds insane, yet, given everything that's been happening since the past few days, I don't know what to believe anymore. If only you actually came here out of your own free will. But no. What if she writes for you to come back? Gonna disappear without a trace? Just drop everything here and leave again? Eli, please. No. Both of you fucking left me here. No contact. Nothing. You think that I wanted to stay here for the rest of my life, working a shitty job? With a father who doesn't give two shits about anything but himself? I don't know. You seem happy to stay. Eliash pinches his forehead with disbelief. Because I'm not someone who just leaves everything behind you. Ugh, you know what? I'm out of here. Sorry about this. See you around, Tom. Eliash walks past me without a word. Eliash? He doesn't respond as he storms out of the house. Neither David nor I say anything. He quietly folds the letter and puts it away in his pocket. I understand Eliash's furious reaction. They're family. My own anger is simmering inside, although it's nowhere near as bad as what Eliash seemed to be feeling. At least David is finally being honest, even if I can't believe the only reason for our reunion was this letter from a mentally ill woman. Not because he misses us, not because he wanted to reconnect, but just some letter. Considering what's going on in the town, considering everything, and considering the fact that I translated the letter, I kind of want to stay with David, and it's not just because he's a hyena. I want to give David the benefit of the doubt. Because, like he said, that he didn't think that he was going to come back. But here he is. He's trying to reconnect with his friends. He's acting the same way that he used to act. If you read, or if you saw the short story or read it, he was acting exactly the same way that he was acting back then when he was a kid, when he had Tom over. So I kind of feel like the whole thing of like, that you guys never left my memory or anything like that is true. And now that he's here, it's less of a like, I didn't expect to stay here, and more of like, I don't really see a reason why I didn't come in the first place. So I'm gonna stay with David. Sorry, Eliash. Are you gonna leave now too? Do you want me to leave? No. I fucking should. David hangs his head, but doesn't argue. I really should leave. Eli probably had the right idea. Even if part of me feels relieved, he finally told us the truth. Of course that's what I thought the last time too. So is this really everything? The real reason you came back? Yeah, I mean... Look, Tom. I knew it wouldn't be easy to see you guys again. Really? Not easy? Poor you. I didn't mean... You've no idea how shitty it felt to lose you like that. Again, the hyena hangs his head. At least, he has the sense to not continue throwing himself a pity party. I sigh, sitting down on the kitchen table, rubbing my temples. I look up to look at him. Why even bother seeing me? Your grandfather just asked to check on the house. You could have done that and left without me even knowing that you were here. I couldn't do that, especially not after learning about your mom. You know, all these years you could have just been talking to me. If visiting Sipneva was such an ordeal, you didn't have to. You'd have known that I went to Warsaw. We could have seen each other there. Or fuck, I could have even visited you in Germany. But no, I guess it was easier to cut off your past, huh? I'm sorry. Feeling that if I stay here, my anger might explode, I hop off the chair and motion to leave. David catches my arm. Wait, Tom, let me just explain, please. What for? You could have explained everything before you left. Yeah, I should have. I know I was fucking stupid, and afterwards, after some time passed, I thought you'd be too angry to listen to anything. I jerk my hand free from his grasp. You'd be right. You don't know how bad Mom has gotten, Tom. I couldn't just leave her there. Grandpa was too old. He couldn't do much for her, and I couldn't just let her be surrounded by strangers. Eli said it himself. He wouldn't simply leave, and it's not like I could have brought Mom back to Sipnevo, even if she wanted to. I'm not mad about that. I'd give anything to be with my mom now, too. In fact, I understand. You'll have to go back to her. I don't know yet, but I realized that I had been stupid then, and I didn't want to make the same mistake. And you thought lying to me and Eli would solve the problem? I told you, I was going to explain even if Eli hadn't found the letter. Besides, I didn't have to tell him what was in it, but I did. A sigh escapes me. Despite myself, I believe him when he says the reason that he lied was because he was afraid of how we'd react. I hate that some part of me is still happy to have him back. How are you going to resolve this with Eli? Think that he might be done with your shit? I've no idea. But I'm sure that he'll hear me out after he cools down a bit. Are you? Am I what? Done with my shit? I stare at him, bemused. Yes, David, I am pretty fucking done with your shit. But I'm giving you a last chance. Cut the shit out. Don't lie to us again. I'm not. I promise. Sighing, I sit down again. I'm starting to get peckish. Could use something to eat. David's ears perk up as his short tail twitches nervously. Oh, yeah? I'd be happy to make something. You a rich boy? Can you even make toast? You'd be surprised. He laughs, and I try to force a smile, even as the thought of what else David could be hiding floats around in my head. For now, I'm going to choose to trust him, and hope that I don't regret it. I know it's a dumb question, but why? Why what? Why did you decide to stay? I wanted to hear the truth. I'm glad you did. And given everything that's happening lately, I thought that I shouldn't just shut you out too. Did you shut out someone else? Well, my dad obviously, but he kinda deserves it. I see. Sadly, I can't help you with that. I can't even come up with a decent advice. As an expert on shutting people out, I really don't know any better way than just reaching out. Uh-huh. Hey, it worked for me, didn't it? You're still here, talking to me. Don't take it as me forgiving you. We're far from done with this conversation. Yeah. Besides, it's not really the same. My dad has always been there, being his miserable self. And that's not a good thing. He never tried to fix his life. Not for my mom, not for me. Well, if you ever get tired of him, you've got a place here. Living in a big house like this alone can be boring. He looks away, his next words spoken in a quieter voice. I was hoping Eliash would, but now... Well, it's not like you will actually be living here. I don't know that yet, Tom. There's things that I need to do for Mom. But that aside... He pokes my belly. So, what would you like to eat? Well, I don't know. Pancakes? And with that, I'm challenged to a cooking contest to see who can make the better pancakes. It's enough to take my mind off of the argument, at least. It'll be a hard-fought battle, or so I thought. It could even be an easy victory. Instead, we just end up playing around like fools, trying to see who can flip them higher with the longest airtime without dropping. One of mine gets stuck on the ceiling. Whoops. I don't think that will ever fall down. I guess you win then. I don't know how long it goes on. I lose track of the time. After making 2 pancake towers, we devour our breakfast and get to cleaning up. Looks like I'll be late for work again. Finally done, David walks me to the door. So, is going to the town hall still in the cards? Oh, right. I guess. Yeah, that could be fun. Fun, huh? Well, meet me at the town hall around 2 p.m. Will do. See you, Tom. And, thank you. Sighing again, I give him a slight smile and head out. Talk to you later. Stepping out of the shower, I shiver all over as a chilly autumn breeze creeps into the bathroom from the open window. I pat my fur dry with a towel, then wrap it around my waist and approach the mirror. The wound still stings like hell. At least, I'm glad that this doesn't really need stitches. I look down at the old claw and stab wounds near my waist. The memory of it hurts more than the actual wound. Maybe if I had been faster, he wouldn't have died. With a heavy sigh, I shake off the unpleasant memories and turn to head out of the bathroom. I need to figure out what I'm going to tell Tom. Carl begged me not to say anything. While I understand Carl's resentment, He should find a better way to channel it instead of my face. Tom won't take this well, and I don't want to give him any more reason to be mad. But the kid isn't stupid either. He'll figure it out eventually. Oh, Tom, this? Yeah, I nicked myself trying to trim my fur. That sounds idiotic. What a mess. He is already mad at me for hiding Ava's investigation from him. Although, despite how badly I handled the situation, I'm glad that he didn't do anything rash. I go to the shelf and pick out some clothes. I need to drive outside of town to get the bloodstains cleaned soon. After that, I need to visit the homeless shelter, ask about the volunteers from Gubernierberg, and maybe snoop around to see if I can learn anything else. I grab my wallet and cigarettes and pull them into my pockets. Must be Tom. I rush to the door, still wondering what to say about Ava and everything else. Tom stands in the doorway, trying to avoid looking at me. Hi? I move to the side, letting him in. Good morning, Tom. Come in. He shuffles into the office, then looks up at me, his eyes going wide. What happened to you? I had a fight. What? You should see the other guy. Who? Some drunk asshole at the bar. Okay. The surprise fades from his face, and he squints at me with suspicion, inspecting my wound. I close the door behind him. At my gesture, he takes his seat on the chair. I was about to head out, but that can wait. I'm glad that you're here. I should probably start by apologizing about yesterday. Then I'm going to move on to talk about Ava. It should all be fine. So, about yesterday. Let me talk first, if that's okay. Sure. He pulls out his notebook, opens it, then flips through a few pages. So, about the witnesses. I'm pretty sure that they... Wait, don't you want to talk about your mom first? He freezes, then looks me straight in the eye. Would you tell me everything that you know? Every detail if I asked? He sounds very adamant, and I know lying to him isn't the way to go anymore, no matter what happens. Because if I try to keep things secret, he'll start to get himself into deeper trouble. I would, but I don't have every single detail. I get that, but it fucking sucks having two of the most important people in my life keeping secrets from me. If I have to, I'm gonna discover the truth for myself. You sound determined, but how are you gonna do that? I don't know yet. Police are keeping things from the public about these cases. They took your mom's files and lost them. I'm already suspicious that there's more going on. See, that's all I'm asking. Hearing your honest opinion and figuring out how I can help. There is a pleading note in his voice. I want to be a part of this. I want to find out what happened to those missing people, including my mom. Tom, if something happens to you, I'd never forgive myself. And there's already plenty that I can't forgive myself for. Tom grunts and folds his arms across his chest, cocking his head, shaking it slightly. Yeah, whatever. Guess I'll just sit on my ass, locked in the office all day, huh? That's not what I meant. Well, that's what you want. No, that's not what I want either. So, what then? I want you to work with me. You don't even trust me with anything. You hide things from me, or just straight up lie. The realization of how unfair I've been towards him hits me. I glance out the window briefly before meeting his gaze again. You're right. No bullshit, and just let me ask you a few things about my mom's disappearance. Right. Did she talk about running away? Folding his arms together, he looks towards the wall, at the picture of his mother. Tom, just tell me. No, she loved you both too much to leave. I see. He sighs with relief before scribbling something in his notebook. Why were you part of our investigation? I've no clue. I've asked myself this for a while now. She didn't want me near it. Or maybe she thought that I was overworking myself. Maybe there was more to it. I don't really know. I'm sorry. It's fine. Do you have a suspicion on who would have stolen the files? If they were stolen, that being said, could be someone from the police or someone close to them. So, would a cop being involved make sense? I'd lie if I said that hasn't been on my mind too. But truth is, Agatha was dumbfounded on how this could have even happened, since they have strict protocols. I see. But as I mentioned before, they're short-staffed, most of them are also overworked and underpaid. I wouldn't be surprised if it was actually carelessness that caused the files to go missing. I doubt it. Tom jots something in his notebook again. His serious and determined look reminds me of Ava whenever she was on a case. No matter how insignificant the case was, it was always important for her. Now that we have suspicion that a cop might be involved, there is something off about this witness too. What do you mean? When I asked you to give me information about the 4 students, the witnesses were misremembering things. First was the cougar's fur color. One witness said that it was brown, the other said that it was red. It happened a while ago, so it makes sense that they might misremember smaller details. Yeah, that's what I thought as well. But there was something else. What? Both witnesses claim that they've heard them arguing about who cheated on whom, but only one witness could possibly hear that. The other witness mentioned that he was inside the gas station when there were heavy traffic from the highway. So you suspect that they were lying? Yeah, I think so, since when I asked about the argument, once again witnesses said that the argument was about cheating. But wouldn't it be easier if the gas station worker simply said that he heard them argue without going into details of the argument? Tom's suggestion makes me pause for a moment. If one of the witnesses was told to lie, that would explain the almost matching statements. This, if true, would complicate things. But it could also just be a mistake. If it was, it could be easily explained. You're right. I will run the witnesses by Igor again. Alright. There's one more thing. I'm listening. Tom takes out his phone and shows me the picture. Could you run this by your cop friend too? Whose license plate is this? Someone who seems to be after Otto? After Otto? What happened? Just check it for me, please. I'll tell you more once I know more. Alright. If you need help, I'll let you know. Alright, that's all that I have. I gotta head to work. I can drive you. Nah, it'll do me better to go on alone. I need a walk right now. Sure. Hey, Marcus? Yeah? I'm glad that you finally told me what I needed to know. I hope that it'll stay that way. Tom's face relaxes into a genuine smile. The morning sunlight from the window reflects in his eyes, giving them a warm golden shimmer. Right. I'll keep you posted about what I find out. Alright. Oh, yeah. I almost forgot. I've transferred the money that we got paid from Bashia to your account. Bashia? Oh, you mean the client. I can pay the rest of my shit now. Thanks. No worries. We both stand up from our seats and then go towards the door. I'll see you around, detective. Alright, take care, intern. Tom walks out and quickly turns to the right, heading down the stairs. This is the first time in a long while that I've seen Tom smile, even if just a little. It feels like, despite him still being mad at me, I did something right today. I feel my tail wagging. But enough of that. I've got work to do. And that's where I'm going to leave it for today. So, we got a little bit of, I guess you could call them truths. Or I guess Tom got the little bit of truths. First from David and then from Marcus. While I will say that David finally told Tom, like, the actual truth and whatnot, I want to say that maybe it's sort of like a road to the truth. Like, eventually he will be able to tell him, like, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. I did actually translate the letter, but I'm going to talk about that in the next video, because, you know, there's still more. There's still an hour left. What I will say is, though, that I do understand where David is coming from, at the very least, when it comes to wanting to support one of your parents, and also like the whole little divorce thing. Your parents separate and you kind of go with the parent that the one that you're stuck with, but at the same time, you don't just stay with them because, money. Like, if they have money, then you're going to get the money, then you're going to leave. But he stayed because he wanted to help his mother. And again, like I said, I'm not going to talk about the letter in depth yet, but I do see some parallels, or at least some of what the letter is talking about within what's going on in the story. Yeah. Also, Marcus the truth. Well, at least wanting to tell Tom the truth because he realizes that what he's been doing to him is wrong. Like, even though you don't have all the facts yet about Tom's missing mom and whatnot, it is better just to tell him what you know instead of just hiding it, Especially because this really does mean a lot to Tom, and it is kind of cruel to just be hiding it. Anyways, and considering the fact that a lot of people just keep things from Tom, that's kind of like the running theme with the visual novel, where everyone is apparently keeping a secret from Tom, and he kind of doesn't like that. But yeah. What else? Oh, also, the wolf, the lone shark wolf that Otto owes money to, apparently is somehow connected to Klomino. In what capacity, we don't know yet. Whether or not he's using it maybe as like a base of operations to hide things that he is doing, we don't know yet. It seems highly plausible though, so, we can probably guess that that's what's happening, but yeah. What else? Also, it's kind of funny how he tricked the guy into letting him go by pretending that he was like one of those app meetings. Yeah. Anyway, so what are your thoughts so far on the story? Write down in the comments, and thank you all for watching / listening. If you'd like to play Cienie yourself, you can do so by going down into the link in the description, which should have a direct link for the itch.io page where you can download the game and play it. Or you can subscribe to the Patreon and get early access to builds of this visual novel. And depending on the tier that you subscribe to, you also get some other little perks, which, are pretty cool. But yeah, also my stuff, Ko-fi, Throne, and if you want to become a channel member and watch these videos before everyone else does, then you can do that. All the links will be down in the description. So yeah. Anyway, so I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.